Good morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group. How you doing? What is it? Is it a hump day? Yes, happy hump day out there. We had rain this morning in the Valley of the Sun, which that never happens, especially in July. I mean, we have this thing, the monsoon, which really is nothing more lately than blowing dust in the last 10 years or so. But that usually comes in the afternoon. So it was good rain. We'll take it. Any water is welcome. So the drive time commute was a little bit slower this morning, but all is well. Got a great show lined up for you. Jay Powell already talking out there. Gold is rallying. 1823 right now on gold. Silver is up as well. As Jay Powell says, we got a long way to go. Long way to go before we start acknowledging any inflation. And it continues to say it's going to moderate. One of the largest money managers in the world, Larry Fink, Black Rock, $10 trillion in assets. You heard me right, $10 trillion. Says, yeah, I don't think so. Get yourself protected. 800-951-0592. That is our toll-free number. allamericangold.com. That is the website, the physical delivery of gold and silver. Wealth insurance, right? You got car insurance, you got health insurance, life insurance, wealth insurance. It's what we do. We do it better than anybody. I want to let you know in the next say 7 to 10 days, and it could be sooner, but I'm giving us a little time. We will switch the majority of our shipping to FedEx. So we will be doing very little business with the post office. We will now be shipping most of our products FedEx. I think that's going to be a lot better for everybody. You're going to get your products sooner, safer, and you don't have to wonder if we shipped you today, because with the post office, if we ship a box today, I can't tell you when it's going to get there. It's the craziest thing. I mean, it could get there in 3 or 4 days. It could get there in 10. We don't know, and it varies. It's not consistent or anything like that. So we'll be making the switch there, and the nice part is it won't cost us any more shipping charges for you guys. So we were able to do it. We had a great meeting with FedEx the other day, and we're just waiting on some equipment, some printers and things like that for labels, and then we'll be making that change. And we'll probably be asking people, we'll be asking you for email addresses. That will be for us to, when we create that label, that it'll instantaneously send you an email with your tracking number. So from here on out, you'll be able to get all of that information. I think it's just going to be a lot better for everybody, and give you guys more information and more timely deliveries, and know when your gold's going to be there. And again, the biggest part, not going to cost any more money. So get ready for that change, and we'll let you know. But like I said, within the next 7 to 10 days, that will be happening here at Patriot as we continue to upgrade what we're doing here for you guys. We want you to have a great experience. When you buy gold and silver from us, we want to have it as timely as possible. Obviously, with the demand the way it is, and the supply the way it is, just like everything else. It's, whether it's automobiles, whether it's computer chips, whether it's stuff on the shelves at the store. Boats, ATVs, I mean, you name it. Everything's taking longer, but we want to be as timely as possible, and this is just going to help speed up that process as well. So we're pretty excited about it. Hopefully you guys are as well. So we got a great show lined up. Jay Powell saying, hey, listen, we're not going to fight inflation. And I told you, listen, this was the choice. This was the choice. Am I going to protect the consumer's hard-earned wages, or am I going to protect Wall Street and debt markets? And the answer is simple. debt markets because they think that's their job. Hey, our job, they say, well, they throw us a bone, don't they? Well, full employment. Yeah, that's like how, raising or lowering an interest rate. How much help does that really have to full employment? I mean, that's ridiculous. Right? I mean, they've had rates at zero now for how long? And the other one is stable dollar. There's nothing stable about it. We have more inflation numbers. We have producer price inflation data out today. Man, you thought yesterday's was hot. This is even hotter. So we'll go through it. Strikes are now happening. And you know what's funny? You didn't see it in the mainstream media. Strikes at Volvo. Strikes at Frito-Lay. Strikes at meat processing plants, Smithfield Foods. I'm going to tell you all about it. They all need more money. The latest, can you afford to rent an apartment in America today working full-time for minimum wage? I think you won't be surprised at the answer. What was surprising is, where can you do it? Is there a place in America today that you can have a full-time job and rent a place? How much do you need to make to rent that place? That will tell you where wages are headed. Patriot Radio News Hour. Don't touch that dial. 800-951-0592. Jay Powell today in front of the, which committee was he in front of? This was the, I just had it. Oh, the Financial Services Committee. Yeah, okay, whatever. Tomorrow will be the Banking Committee. And again, not a lot happened. But here's what he said. That the Fed is trying to, continue substantial further progress towards full employment. Right? That's the, the one. Oh yeah, no, we're here for you. See, we're trying to have you employed. And then, of course, stable prices remains a ways off. He did acknowledge that inflation has increased notably, which he said, remember, this wasn't going to happen. Right? Think about it, at the end of last year, it wasn't going to happen. There wasn't going to be any inflation. Of course, first quarter of this year, well, it's just going to be transitory. Fast forward to the summer now. Well, it's increased notably, but it'll likely remain, and it's going to remain elevated in the coming months. But then it's going to start moderating. Well, eventually, I guess it could. But like I said, use lumber as the example. It's double where it was before the pandemic. I'm going to tell you right now, that is not true. I don't think he believes it. And I think he's saying it because he has to. And this is why you need to call. You got to get it through your head. He doesn't believe this, but he has to say it. Larry Fink on CNBC this morning, right? Black Rock, the world's largest asset manager. Now, I will tell you, there's no way any asset manager should be this big. That's ridiculous. It's dangerous. But again, where's the oversight? They're not here for that. The hands and the power in the hands of the few. Like I said, they touch $10 trillion in asset. He's on CNBC this morning and he goes, I'm not convinced by the Federal Reserve's arguments about inflation. That's his exact words. And specifically that they're going to fade away once supply bottlenecks and other temporary factors resulting from COVID fade away. He says that's not what I see. And who would know better? A guy who his job is to make money, right? Or the guy who allegedly is worried about stable prices, which he's not. He's only worried about debt. Fink says there have been important, fundamental, and foundational changes. See, the Fed says it's all transitory. Fink says no. These are important, fundamental, foundational changes. A way policymakers view inflation. Decades-long emphasis on keeping prices low for consumers has been supplanted about concerns about wage levels and jobs. Well, again, right, all the work we could get rid of, we've gotten rid of it. Right? How long was it going to take? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. To work at McDonald's now. So funny. We want $15 an hour. That's not enough. Remember, that was the lowest of the low job. Right? That was the job. Well, who did those jobs? Teenagers. You know how important McDonald's and Taco Bell are to this economy? You know how many people they employ? I work at the grocery store. I'm a checker or a bagger. I'm a cart getter. I put products on the shelves. Those are low-wage jobs. Now they're vital jobs. We got to have them. Are you kidding me? Amazon. What do? Oh, I pick products off of a warehouse. You know, I walk through the warehouse and put products on carts and ship them out to people. I wonder how many college-degree people are doing all these jobs. You'd be shocked. But he says that Black Rock plans to bump all employee base pay by 8% in September. So that tells you what? Hey, listen, I'm not giving raises. I'm just trying to keep up with inflation. I just want my people not to have less. And this is how substantial this thing is really is getting. And this is going to be something that we're all going to watch play out all across America. Just today, I found 3 different places on workers striking. The first one is Frito-Lay. Walking out of their jobs at their plant in Topeka, Kansas. Saying, one guy in the article says, I've been here 12 years. I've received 77 cents in a raise over 12 years. In other words, hey, I'm at the top of the pay. Don't pay me. I made an extra 77 cents an hour in 12 years. Look at, what do you think his standard of living has done? They're citing Frito-Lay forces their union workers to work overtime. People are working like 80 hours a week. What they need the 80 hours to pay their bills. See, this is the right. Hey, we'll keep you poor enough. You got to work the overtime. They're on strike today. They want $19 an hour minimum wage. Volvo, they've got a plant in Virginia. 91, by the way, 90% of the Frito-Lay workers voted down their contract. 91% of union workers voted down Volvo's contract, and it's all about the same thing. We need more workers, and we need more money, period. And all of these that I'm going to tell you about all say the very same thing. At Volvo, they said that they've turned down their contracts, and that they're saying that the union, which agreed to a contract in 2016, says that they need more money at Volvo, and they're on strike. And again, remember this is where the transitory argument all falls apart. South Dakota, meat processing plant Smithfield Foods, their union just walked out after rejecting 99% voted it down. I mean, think about these numbers. You see a lot of strikes. Not a lot, but when you see them, at first, maybe they got 60 or 70% support. Every one of these, 90, 91, 96, 99%. And they're saying at their packing plant, same thing. This number keeps coming up here. $19 an hour is the new base pay that the Smithfield Foods workers in South Dakota want. Why would they want this? What happened to 15? And I told you, by the time it gets to 15, believe me, it needs to be 30. I'm not far off. This is a great, the Income Housing Coalition just released their annual report about people working minimum wage full-time jobs cannot afford to rent a 2-bedroom apartment in any state in the country. Think about what I just said. I mean, let's face it, 2-bedroom apartment. We're not talking about renting a 2-bedroom apartment in North Scottsdale. Okay? We're not talking about, I got a 2-bedroom at Kierland. Right? We're talking about, right, a 2-bedroom apartment out on the west side. Can't even pull that one off. But again, there's always, if you went to Oklahoma or Mississippi or Wyoming or the Dakotas, you can do it. Nope. And they said that 93% of U.S. counties, the same workers, couldn't afford a modest 1-bedroom apartment. Full-time job, can't rent a place. But here's the thing. Now, listen, here's the logic they use, and it's solid logic. Hey, that's spending 30% of your income on rent. Right? That's kind of that's the baseline number. 30% of your income on rent. Workers would need to earn $24.90 an hour for a 2-bedroom. So $25 an hour for a 2-bedroom. And $20.40 for a 1-bedroom. That's up $1 an hour in just the last year alone. So think about it. Inflation's just really started here. I mean, technically inflation was below 2% 3 months ago. And again, remember their and I say this all the time, that rent equivalent thing, which I could never really figure out what that meant, is saying, hey, it's only up 2%. Well, this one here says it's up 4%, double what they're saying it is. And that's just to barely squeak by. So when we're sitting there and we're thinking about what comes next, what do you think comes next? You think we can end out handouts? Think we can stop spending all of this money? Universal basic income? I'm going to tell you what's next, and I don't know if you've seen it yet. Did you see phase 2 on the Democrat side? We had infrastructure spending, which we still haven't cleared. Right? They want $1 trillion for that. But remember, they've got this new buzzword. Yes. The human infrastructure. Yes, the human infrastructure plan. See, this is where, hey, we got to give money to people or they're going to start rioting. Look at what's happening in South Africa today. 70 people dead there. The new agreement. Now, this is the Democratic caucus already says it has the votes. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I think it's going to come down to two people. Is Joe Manchin on board? Is Kristen Sinema on board? If they're on board, this is happening. They want to spend $3.5 trillion, or roughly another $600 billion a year. What's another $600 billion? I mean, between that and the infrastructure, that's almost another $1 trillion a year in spending. Well, or debt. Well, who cares? Let the Fed buy it all. They can just keep buying it. They said that they would expand Medicare coverage for dental, vision, and hearing benefits. Sure. Everybody knows the expanding benefits have got to cost less. Don't they get it? This is going to make everything cost even more. Patriot Radio News Hour. Get that gold put away because you're going to need it. Wow. This is pretty. My friends are texting me. Is there any good news out there? Yes. Gold and silver are going to be a lot higher here real soon. That's great news. And again, it's not. This is just where we're headed. I mean, I didn't vote for Biden. I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for Bernie Sanders or Chucky Schumer or Nancy Pelosi. I didn't put the Democrats in charge. $3.5 trillion. Well, it just makes sense. You know, we already got free health care. Well, you know, dental, vision, hearing, right? All that should be free, right? School should be free, right? Probably should be able to just, apartments should be free. Everything should be free. How about that? I mean, where does it end? Where does all of this end? But I'm reading this, and this is the part that has me kind of concerned, is that they're trying to get this done before the August recess. I don't think that can happen. I don't think. But it's how they're going to do it. If they can get this resolution approved, it would pave the way for Democrats to pass a later spending bill in the Senate through the budget reconciliation process, which just means that's that 51-50. Right? You get all 50 Democrats to say yes. All 50 Republicans are going to say no, I think. And then Kamala Harris passes it instead of the 60 votes that the GOP wants. So again, there's this little loophole that they're going to allow for. If all 50 Democrats back the bill, they can pass it. So right now, Joe Manchin, by the way, the leading guy on this, Bernie Sanders. He's the guy. Joe Manchin, in a statement out already, telling reporters everything should be paid for. We put enough free money out. I'm also very interested in how this proposal is paid for and how it enables us to remain globally competitive. I will reserve further judgment until I see the proposal. So this is it. Joe Manchin may control the country here. And here's the problem with paid for. There's going to be tax increases. And they're going to say we're going to tax corporations. It sounds wonderful. I get it. How upset do you get when you see Amazon didn't pay any taxes or Apple didn't pay any taxes, right? It's mind-boggling. It just infuriates you. Two things. No matter what they say, they always overestimate by a large margin the paid-for part. So they're going to raise taxes. And my guess will be if 3.5 trillion, we'll probably get $1 trillion of it in tax increases. Because there's always loopholes, right? And corporations, what do? They just change. Oh, you changed the rules? Okay, well, we're going to change. We know this. Then the other part. We already have runaway inflation. What do you think these companies are going to do? Right? I mean, honestly, what do you really think they're going to do? Oh, well, hey, we just had to pay $10 billion more in taxes than we did last year. Well, let's raise prices. Because you got to remember, what's the CEO's job? CEO's job, number one, it's the CEO, the CFO, is to make the most amount of money possible for the shareholder. And then obviously what? Pay the least amount, right? What's the least amount we can pay our workers? What's the least amount we can pay in taxes? What's the least amount we can pay for the products that we need to make our stuff? That's their job. So what do you think's going to happen? It's scary already because, and again, Schumer's out saying that they've got the votes, which it means he believes that Manchin, and I haven't seen Sinema yet, that this is going to happen. And this is easy. Here's the problem I have with it. It's easy to make happen because you just fluff up what you say the tax ramifications are going to be. To say, see, look, we paid for it all. And you think Apple and Amazon and Microsoft, right? All these companies, but you don't think they don't have a team of people out there? Okay, they zigged, let's zag. Of course they will. And then the other side of it, they're just going to raise prices. And this is why I think you're hearing Larry Fink say, hey, listen, this isn't transitory. Right? If they're raising wages 8%, if you now need to make $25 an hour to rent a now they use the word modest. I don't know what that means, but a modest 2-bedroom. Where do you think it's really going to be? And this is why when we see this, and I don't have not a lot of details other than the medical side. They want to blow up Medicare and Medicaid. And just remember, that's part of that FICA tax. In Medicare and Medicaid run out of money first. So when they tell you the Social Security Trust Fund, oh, yeah, well, and again, we haven't gotten the update yet. We're going to get it here in the next couple of months. It's going to run out of money in 2030 or whatever the number they're going to say it is. That's actually not being truthful because they know that Medicare and Medicaid are going to run out sooner. They know Social Security disability, which they already transferred some money to, going to run out sooner. And what do when that happens? Well, they give a little less to Social Security. And if they actually would calculate it that way, you'd find out the number I've been telling. I'll just keep saying it. We got 4 years. 4 years before this problem rears its ugly head. And I think that's about how much time we got left, period, before we're going to get something new, right? This digital dollar, I'm not afraid of it. It's a horrible, I mean, we're already tracked to death anyway. What's one more tracking system? But it's going to be painful. That's why you have your gold put away. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592. Just some more details coming out. Capital gains tax. That's your Wall Street tax. That's a big piece of this as well. They want it to go to 28%. I think it's at 15 now, so almost a doubling. That's going to take a bite out of the debt markets. Of course, we talked about the capital corporation taxes. Anyone really believe they can? You're going to raise taxes $3.5 trillion? Really? I don't see how this is going to happen. But again, we'll have to wait and see. But this is huge. This just blows away anything I thought was possible on this human infrastructure side. $3.5 trillion. The Democratic committee is all on board. Of course, that's Bernie and Nancy and Chuck and some of the rest. We'll have to wait and see what Joe Manchin, again, I told you what he's already said, but get ready. Something is coming. And it's not going to be small. And they're going to use the 5150 to do it. Apparently, that is the plan. So get your financial house in order. It's just math. I wish it could be different. I mean, we've got Federal Reserve. They've already got an $8 trillion balance sheet. And by the way, it's not like it stopped. It rises $120 billion a month. This time next year, it's going to be $9 trillion, and then $10 trillion. And we still have infrastructure and this whatever you want to call this, real infrastructure and human infrastructure to get done. The largest asset manager in the world, right as Jay Powell's testifying in the finance committee about, oh, don't worry, inflation's, yeah, okay, it's a lot, but it's going to moderate, came out and said it's not moderating. And this is what we're going to see. And now we're going to even spend more on top of it. I think all the things we worried about with Biden being president, they've been put on the back burner, right? Because we came out of COVID and the lockdowns have ended, and people are going back to work little by little and felt good about it. And now all of a sudden, here comes the new agenda. I don't know how any of this is going to work, but again, what do I know? Today, gold's up, by the way. Gold's up another $15, $18.25. Silver's up about 10 cents, $26.20. I've got about, and this is the biggest amount of 20s I've had in a while. Got about 170 20s. Their libs and their saints. I don't know how much. I don't even know how much is of each. These are coming from overseas. They'll hit the U.S. sometime next week, and then they'll get here and in Colorado right after that. Right now, $21.55 on $20 Liberties in Saints. We're going to take $25 off. So instead of $21.55, we're going to take $25 off, $21.30. That's where they were yesterday. So, hey, let's ignore the move and buy here at $21.30 at 800-951-0592. And again, like I said, this is the biggest amount of 20s probably in the last 4 weeks. Got about 170 of them available for you. 800-951-0592. Listen, an ounce of gold for every year you've been alive. It's a good rule of thumb. Just understand it. It's like my buddy texted me, is there any good news? Well, it depends. It depends on what you think good news is. Unfortunately for us, we've got a Federal Reserve that can't fight inflation. Well, it's unwilling to fight. They could. I mean, we should argue they should fight inflation. They're not doing it. Matter of fact, Jay Powell today, we're ways off. At what point do they finally say, oh no, we made this mistake? On top of this, we've got Democrats that are hell-bent on spending trillions, and they want to throw taxes. And the taxes that have been put on, they're coming. Corporate taxes going up, right? Janet Yellen, oh, we got a global, like we're trying to get everyone to agree to at least 15%. Because here's the real reason. We want to charge 25. That's what the Biden thing, Washington Post saying now. That's what their initial offer on corporate tax rate, back to 25%. Of course, with all the loopholes, doesn't matter. And, of course, what are we worried about? Well, they're going to just put their corporate headquarters in Ireland or the Cayman Islands or somewhere else and avoid the tax anyway. I don't know. Either way, this is how I look at it. Either way, we got boxed into the corner. We lived high on the hog. And it's easy, right? It's easy to spend money that isn't yours. Right? I'm really good at spending other people's money. Right? Really good at it. I hate spending my own money. Because I never have enough of it. And they've been able to lie and hide and do all these things and use all this quote-unquote logic and formulas. Now we're at that point now where, guess what? It's pay the piper time. And the rats are getting ready to come out of their hole. Patriot Radio News Hour, final segment coming up. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. The only thing up today is gold and silver. Everything else is lower. Take that back. The Dow just popped into positive territory. It's up 30 right now. Gold's at 1824, up 13.5. Silver is up 10 cents as well. Today, $20 Liberties and Saints. You pick it. I don't know how many of each we've got, but there's a lot out there. I got 170 of them. It's just so nice. I don't even remember the last time I had 100 of anything. So kind of a nice thing. Now, these are on their way from Europe, and they will be here in the U.S. Sometime towards the middle of next week. $2,130 at 800-951-0592. Wow. Just breaking. So I'm getting snippets. Jay Powell's testifying right now. Says the Fed's buying of mortgages not especially important to conditions in the housing market. The guy has lost his mind. If it wasn't important, then don't buy them. Why are they buying $40 billion worth of mortgages every month? And, of course, they don't. They just make the money up. The answer is simple. They want the interest rate to be as low as possible. They're trying to buy down the interest rate. If it's not especially important, why are you doing it? This tells you how bad the problem really is. I mean, I obviously, this is the problem with Jay Powell. Alan Greenspan would have never said it like this, or Ben Bernanke, or even Janet. They would have never have said it like this. This just, again, this is the guy that's in charge. Well, if it's not especially important, then save the $40 billion a month. Of course, he knows what would happen, right? No one would be able to refinance their homes anymore because the rates would be higher. And again, he doesn't want to. This is his way. So, well, the housing bubble's not my fault. Right? This is one of those defenses. Right? It's not my fault. Oh, and of course, is there a housing bubble? I will tell you this. So yesterday was bowling with all my buddies. I didn't say a word. Every one of them, all as they wanted to talk about, because one of them's selling his house, so that's probably why, about this bubble. Every one of them. And they're all, at the end, after they were all talking, because they're all like, man, this thing's going to blow up. And the one guy's like, man, I just want to sell my house before it happens. And I said, well, I think it's probably got at least another 6 months. And you should have seen the look. They thought I was an idiot. It's not going to last that long. That was now, two of them, to be fair, one's selling his house. Two others, their wives are realtors. And then there was a fourth guy, and he's the only one that didn't have a what do you want to call it? He didn't have any. His wife isn't in real estate. He's not in real estate. Get ready. Hope you got that goal for the way. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm going to have some good news tomorrow. I'm going to find some. I promise. Take care, everybody. God bless.